Welcome to PACTApp. In this tutorial, I am going to show how to merge existing response stored in the offline version with the newly published form. First, let me show the offline saved survey response. So you see, I have a survey response saved as offline, which is essay test 1. So this is for the survey NHS test survey for March feature and survey 1.15. so I have filled all the fields here. You can see all the fields are filled, and I have added two Khana members detail here, and I have added the detail of Shikha here. All the fields required fields are actually inputted, and for rest of the sectors I have actually answered no. So as we can see, all the fields have inputted values, and this is stored as offline. Now I suppose when a new form is published, and I am going to show you the form here. For more option, I go to the surveys, that is survey 1.15. so whenever a new form is published, so if we try to start the survey, the newly published form will be downloaded. So I'm going to click on start. So the form is again downloading because a new version was published. So I'm going to select the baseline, listing book data, listing book entry. So you see here we just see a new field called Notun field, which is added later and published newly. So in our previous form this field was not present. I am going to save it. test 2. I am going to save it. So it will stored in the offline version, and the offline one will have a new key called merge. So if I go back and click on the offline, then the surveys, so I am seeing merge button in my first response, which is also for survey 1.15, but for the second response I am not seeing the merge button, because when I started the second response, a new version of the form is already published and I have the new changes there. So if I click on the second form, test 2, so I will see the first field is called the new Notun field, which is added later. So if I go back and open the first response, I see that the Notun field is not present here. That means this is still in the older version of the form. So I have basically two responses stored in my offline survey list. One is newly created one, and the other one is the older one. So you may have multiple of the older ones, it doesn't matter. So whenever a newly created one is there and you try to store that, then the form is updated, and all the existing offline one will have the merge button. So now all we have to do is just click on the merge button. So before clicking on the merge button, I am again going to see you the data here. So I have inputted all the fields actually, so those values are present here. All the fields data are present here. Now I am going back and clicking on the merge button. Let me click on the merge button. So merging form, we are seeing a message merging form. That means with our existing form the newly changes will be merged. So let it merge. So merged successfully, and the merge button disappear from the first response as it is now in the latest version. So if I click on the my first form, so I see the title is survey test test 1, and the new field is appearing here, and all the other data are still there present. So no data loss is there. So if we check all the values, we will see that all the values are present. So all the field data are present here. Now I am going to click on the submit, but as the first field is required, it is showing me the message. I am going to go back to the first field, providing a value. So this is our merged form, I mean merged response with the new form with the new field. Now I have provided the value, and now I'm going to submit it by pressing submit. So it seems my response test 1 is submitted, and that is no longer in the offline list. So if I go back and click on more, then the surveys, and for the survey 1.15, if I click on my response list, I will see that my response is for review, and if I want to see, I can see that the new field is appearing here as well, and all the data are there. So all of the data are present here. Yeah, so that's all. This is how we merge. So whenever we see the merge button, all we have to do is go back and try to start a new response. Whenever we try to start, we click the start button, the newly published form will be available into our app, and all our older version response stored in the offline version will have the merge button. We will have to click on the merge button. There is no chance of data missing. So after merging, we will see all the data are there, but it is good to check after and before the merging that all the data are there. So when we are confirm that everything is okay, then we will submit the response, and we see that after submitting with the merged version, we see that all the data are stored, and we can anytime see them in from our response list actually. So thank you for watching this tutorial.